And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, the group stage weekend has concluded. After 3 days of some of the best Siege I've ever watched, the Six Invitational participants have been whittled down from the initial 16 teams to just 8. The rest of the tournament will proceed with this half of the teams that made it through the group stage. We saw upsets, we saw blowouts, we saw BDS takes it, and there's so much stuff to dig into. We went from 4 teams from North America, 4 Latin American, 5 European, 3 from Asia Pacific, to 3 teams from North America. Most of our boys made it through. 3 EU teams are gone, and North America stands tall. This might be our best chance of winning a major.
Get hype, North America! We about to slap that EU ass!
The top 8 teams that survived the group stage are Dark Zero and Fnatic from Group A, Space Station and TSM from Group B, Ninjas in Pajamas and MIBR from Group C, and G2 and BDS from Group D. I got 3 of these right. How in the hell did Team Liquid not make it in? How did Rogue not win a single series?
How in the fuck did Empire lose to Fnatic?
There's diffuser! There's diffuser! 3v2! One more! One sec, hold on. Let's go!
This was, bar none, the best group stage we've had for a major in Siege history. Better than Paris, better than the Invitational last year. So many games were just masterclasses to behold, and aside from a few wildcards, every team in their group seemed pretty evenly matched. My top games for the weekend would have to be SSG versus TSM, Dark Zero versus FaZe, NiP versus Liquid, Rec versus G2, and Fnatic versus Empire, the rematch. This was such a good weekend of Siege, dude. It blew me away how much fun I was having all weekend, even though I had to work a lot and miss some of the games live. While I was editing this video, there's another thing I wanted to point out that I forgot to include in the script. All of the casting over this weekend was phenomenal, and we got another observer in there. Medics is doing a fantastic job as an observer, but I especially wanted to give a huge shout out to Ace and Dezichu for knocking it out of the park on the biggest event that they've ever done casting for. These 2 UK massive boys have always done really good work, but to anchor the mainstream on day 1, call some of the first matches that we ever saw for this year's Invitational, and to do such a phenomenal job keeping me engaged, especially working really hard this entire weekend. Thank you boys so freaking much for doing what you do. You guys killed it. I can't wait to see you in Montreal. Please don't ever stop doing what you're doing, or I'm gonna be really mad at you. And it only gets me more hyped for the rest of the tournament this week, so
let's just jump into it.
Today's Monday, it's a rest day, there's no games happening right now, but our games for the quarterfinals on Tuesday have already been set. We'll see TSM versus NIP, which are 2 teams that have never played each other before, G2 versus Fnatic, who last played each other at the Pro League Season 8 finals in 2018, SSG versus MIBR, which is a rematch of the OGA pit, and Dark Zero versus BDS, which is a rematch of the DreamHack Montreal quarterfinals. All games were decided by a random draw, with the number 1 seeded team from a group playing a number 2 seed from any group that was not their own. The rest of this tournament will probably be really confusing to anyone who doesn't watch esports outside of Siege. We have a double elimination bracket as opposed to the standard single elimination bracket. In other words, Ubisoft took my advice on this one.
I'm not saying Ubisoft should adopt this for the Invitational, but if Ubisoft adopted this for the Invitational, that would be extremely cash.
The basic premise is that you have a second chance. You can lose 1 match in this bracket and still be okay, but if you lose 2 matches, you're done. We have the quarterfinals on Tuesday, then Wednesday, the winners and losers of those games are put on opposite sides of a bracket. The winners play each other, and the losers play each other. 2 teams will be eliminated on Wednesday because they'll lose 2 straight series and won't have a third chance. Keep in mind that 1 team will go all the way through this bracket to the grand finals without losing a single series. So when they get there, they'll be rewarded with a 1-map advantage heading into it. We break again on Thursday, then we get to the stage matches next weekend. This is the part where the public can buy tickets and actually attend the event. Like your boy. Friday, we get 2 lower bracket games where 2 more teams will go home. Saturday, we'll have another losers game as well as the winners finals where we determine who the 1-map advantage will go to. And then Championship Sunday, where we'll have one more losers matchup that decides the other finalist, and then the best of 5 grand final that determines the next world champion. This might have just confused the hell out of you, and I totally understand. It's a longer process because it takes 2 additional play days and makes the whole tournament a weekend longer. The idea is to give teams one last chance to survive by not having them eliminated if they lose one best of 3. This means that the quarterfinals on Wednesday, which are some banger matchups, are not elimination games because none of these teams have lost in this bracket yet. And as much as I know you probably came here looking for predictions, I'm not going to confirm anything. Sorry. I'm rooting hardcore for all the North American teams to pull this out, but NIP was kind of a surprise, BDS took it, MIBR was a little dark horse, and Fnatic shocked the world when they made it out of the group of death. One of these teams will be your next world champions by the end of this week, unless you're G2 Esports, in which case you will have successfully defended your championship. That is all from me. I fly out to Montreal on Wednesday, so there might be one more video up depending on what my schedule before then looks like. What were your favorite moments from the group stage? Did you have any other games you thought were good? Anything else you'd like to highlight? Let me know in the comments, and we can definitely get some discussion going. Hit up my Twitter, my Twitch, and this YouTube channel for even more coverage as we continue deep into the Invitational, and I'll see you later. Peace! Fa!